What's going on, people? Good morning and welcome to United View. Welcome to your match day reloaded Monday morning, bright and early. A little bit under the weather, as you could hear. And there is obviously a clear difference. I do not look like Owen. Big up to everybody on the match day reloaded show. This is Owen's show. I'm going to do my best to get through it first, but I'm going to do my best to emulate Owen. You know what I mean? Owen does it in such a great way. He does it. He's highly skilled, highly sought after guy. But it's not going to be the same as Owen, but it's going to be your match day reloaded as per usual as well. So yes, big up to Owen. This is his show. Flex overslept, says Mina. Listen to me. Look at Mina. You know, Mina's been getting on to me a lot. Mina's been getting on to me a lot. Yeah, 100%. She has been getting on to me a lot. And Troll says, greetings to the UV community, 100%. Owen caught the KG bug. And yes, what a loss, says Red One as well. We're going to get into a lot. We're going to talk about, obviously, the breakdown of yesterday, some of the quotes that have come out. We're going to talk about some of the things that Eric Ten Hag had to say in the back end of last night, in the immediate aftermath of that. We've got a little bit of an update on Alejandro Garnacho's new contract as well. Fabrizio Romano's had some stuff to say about that. A lot was made about Alejandro Garnacho as well, about why he didn't come onto the pitch. We want to talk about that, or didn't come on until really, really late. So we've got a lot to talk about, man. So me and Marcel are going to take you through it. It's your match day reloaded for last night's game against Arsenal at the Emirates. And we've got a little bit of transfer news as well. Let's start with, Marcel, how you feeling? Now dust has settled a little bit. You wake up. You was very adamant yesterday that, there's positive signs. You were very adamant that we've got the better manager and, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, etc., etc. How are you feeling now? You all kind of calm down and it's the next day?
That's a great question because, when you're after the game, you're feeling a bit, a bit bitter, a bit aggrieved at the situation that we've lost. I don't like to lose football matches, but the team done very well. I think Man United played very well, and credit to Arsenal for getting the win. And ultimately, that's the objective in football matches, is to get the win, and they obviously achieved that. But I'm still happy with the team, how the team played. When we put into the grand scheme of things, and I think that's what I was speaking to after the game as well. I was trying to push the narrative a bit forward in the sense that, we have to look at the grand scheme of things here. We've only been 6 months in, and for us to achieve what we've achieved so far, I think, boy, it's a brilliant result there. Nearly again scraping it just in the last seconds, missing out. So well done to Arsenal. Obviously, they done well. Were dominant for about 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes of the game. Otherwise, the rest of it was very even Stevens. So a bit upset that we couldn't get that draw. I think maybe, a lot of what we done deserved it, maybe 60, 70 minutes, but then the legs start wearing away, and that's because there's been so many Manchester United football matches this month. We've had so many games. So and Ten Hag has a thin squad to work with. I think that's why I would say to myself, Ten Hag's the better manager. He's had such a thin squad and has been able to maneuver and engineer a squad to compete toe to toe for 60, 70 minutes. Obviously, Arteta's further into his process, 3 years in, and he's done well, but it was a tough loss and a difficult loss to take.
It wasn't it. It was, especially when, you kind of see what he says after the game, which I'll get into some of the quotes. He was really upset. He was really disappointed. It's about mentality and mistakes and stuff. And whilst we were feeling some form of optimism as fans, and rightly so, there were bits about the performances that were good. I don't think we can completely, especially if we want to get better, which is, you said it yesterday, like Ten Hag says, good is not good enough. Never is. And that's why we didn't get a point. Like he said, as soon as it got to where the maximum was a point from the game, then you have to take that point. You can't make mistakes like it is, like we did. So it is, excuse me, it is tough to take, because I think we could have applied ourselves a little bit better just to hang on in there and make sure that you get out of there with a point, which would have been a really good result. Would have been a really, really good result, considering what we was up against. Do you know what I mean? What we was up against, which was a tough Arsenal side. Let's go through some of the quotes. This one's interesting. I want to discuss this one quickly, Marcel. I told the players, if you want to win trophies, you have to change mentality. When you hear that, what resonates with you?
strength in character, resilience, belief to the very end. You know, was we mentally a bit worried about, you know, physically, was we not there, and that kind of lose concentration. I think he talked a lot about concentration in the rest of his post match. It just talks to me about character, resilience, being able to believe right into the last second, and concentration.
Listen to this one. Right now, I'll go through some of them. There's some really strong comments. And this is why, again, when you have so much faith in a manager, and you guys watching at home, let us know. It is a bit like a breath of fresh air. Right now, we are not a top team. But if we learn from this, we will get a step closer. There is still a lot to win also in the Premier League. Today, we have to accept that we are not satisfied with this defining performance because we can do better. You start well and you have to take the benefit from that situation. It can't happen that you concede like we did. We realize that progress has been made as well. I have said the same in the dressing room, but I also said that if you want to win, you can't make mistakes that I mentioned, like a pack of cards. The goals we conceded, they just, kind of crumbled. And he says, I must, it irritates, it irritates me immensely how quickly they were allowed to score at 1-1. Exactly. We was barely ahead, what, 5, maybe 10 minutes?
3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Was it that? See,
Yeah.
it's not good enough in a big game like that, but it fits the process that we are in. See what I'm saying? That bit there, it irritates me immensely how quickly they were allowed to score 1-1, but it fits the process that we are in, and that's what we keep talking about. Where we are, that's where we are. That's where we are in this development. We're not quite, and that's why I always thought. That's why I never predicted we could win this game. And that wasn't being defeatist. That wasn't not backing the team and because I just think we're rubbish or not. It wasn't anything to do with that. It's because I look at how our game management is away from home, and we're just not there yet. We're nicking games against Palace, nicked a game away against Fulham, nicked the game against Wolves earlier on in the season, nicked it against Leicester, nicked it against Southampton. The list goes on. Grinded out a last-minute draw against Chelsea. And I think our home form has been so good, so good. But we still got a lot to work on in our next phase of the development of how to manage these big situations away from home. And whilst we did okay, that's what he's talking about. It fits with where we are right now, even though it's not where he wants us to be.
Yeah. But I'm very proud of the players that he's set us up in a brave manner, and he's just being honest. He's being a manager. He's seeing all the variables and saying, look, it was good up until this point, but literally good is not good enough. He's literally speaking to what he's saying a lot of the time, and it's all about trying to move on to the next process. I think you can nitpick at the certain players that he's talking about. I think a lot of those are slight indirects, maybe to the Wan-Bissaka situation, to the little build up there from De Gea, a killer pass, hospital pass, if for want of a better word, into Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka tries a nutmeg. Little decisions there. He's speaking to the creme de la creme, the top level. You have to conduct yourself and play maybe the safer percentage passes or the safer percentage skills. And like you said, if imagine if we had been able to settle that game and kill it even further, because the crowd were quiet. We settled that crowd in the first half. But imagine if we had been able to survive maybe 10, 20 minutes spell and be 1-0 up. I think you just it get a squeaky bum time.
The game. Exactly.
Yeah, complete dynamic change. So he's being a manager, and he's just a fantastic manager, like you said, a breath of fresh air, because he's being very honest, very critical, but he's also trying to taper that expectation at the same time from the fans. I'm very excited from these kind of performances because it's a massive way that we've come from last season.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you could argue that in the end, and this is why football's fine margins. You can't just look at the result, and you have to dissect the performance properly, because you could say that Man United, like he's saying, changed the mentality, you got cut out the mistake. So essentially, if you're outsider looking in and not dissecting this properly, you could say, well, they still lost. They lose every year. They go to the Emirates and they lost. But this was a bit different, because I think there were moments of the game where we could have really capitulated. Do you know what I mean? So you could capitulate at 1-1. So you've shown naivety to concede so quickly, and it's 1-1. But from 1-1 through to the half, I think we stabilized. I think we managed to calm ourselves down, and again, not capitulate. The Manchester United of old, that game would have been 2-1, maybe 3-1, even by half time, because of the momentum. Because this is Arsenal at home, by the way. When they get that equalizer, you're thinking, oh God, here we go. Like, especially because they got it so quick. It was almost like to say, our goal woke them up. It was a shot out the Blues, a fantastic goal from Rashford. And they went, right, you know what? Let's step it up. And the type of goal they scored, like I said, Wan-Bissaka at the back post, easy header for Nketiah, so we could have capitulated. Then the second bit, you could say, well, we showed naivety again in the second half. Then they go and get the second goal, which, to be fair, though, that's a worldie. Like, from Saka, it was building, and the progress, the momentum was building for Arsenal, but Saka scored a fantastic goal. What can you say? But again, you could have capitulated. That could have been 3-1, could have been 4-1. The tails are up. Starboy Saka's just scored an amazing goal. The Emirates is rocking. But again, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So then after that, we managed to get ourselves back into the game again. So there were moments where, like you said, the mentality had improved, but then it still isn't quite there yet because of the fact that we conceded in the last minute. Amino says, can we talk about McTominay and Anthony? Step up. Before we get to some more quotes, let's talk about those two players. How do you think they did yesterday?
We clearly, we need a midfielder. I think that's been obvious. And we missed the midfielder. Casemiro should be in there, fighting for the club. So you can see the quality drop off. I think all United fans that have been following us every single game or in spurts, when you see when Casemiro's not playing, there's just a complete different side that we filled. McTominay didn't help us on transition. I think he was a bit of a physical presence, but Casemiro's that. Unfortunately, like the comment says, it just wasn't good enough. It's very right. And then Anthony, I don't know. He's not beating anyone 1v1. He's not aggressive enough on the ball, but he's off the ball very proactive. I think he understands that very well. And I think just positionally, he takes up the right positions because he's played under a Ten Hag system before. So he knows when to be, how to be, and where to be, but he's just not executing these moments. The crossing is not good enough. You got 6'6" Verhorst, and sometimes you're taking shots when you should be maybe looking for the cross, and he's just not blending into the team well. I think you mentioned it in the player ratings. Sancho, he should be looking and eyeing up that position because that's the place that you're going to come into, and Sancho has a lot better execution in terms of decision making, in terms of creativity. We just need to get him up to speed, and I think Ten Hag's doing the right process for him. So I think Anthony's gonna and Diallo. Ahmad, I think, displaces Anthony at some stage. That young kid is fantastic. So he's a long way in his process, but
you keep the ball better.
Yeah, he keeps the ball better, more productive, I think. So Anthony's still, the jury's out on him still. And we have to remember again, 6 months in, we give him time, give him a season in. Sancho wasn't brilliant in his first season. Yes, different set of circumstances, but I'm going to give Anthony a bit of time.
He definitely needs more time. Akil says, just want to say big up for all the content. I'm from Australia, and listening to the watch along while watching the game gets me so hyped and passionate. Big up, man. That's what it's all about, all the way from Australia. I met there was a couple down there yesterday, isn't it, Marcel? I don't know if you saw them.
Yeah.
They're from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Guy from New York, guy from Chicago,
France.
It's great. Look, Man United's the biggest club in the world. And, when we go around the world, not even around the world, when we have games here and we see people come from around the world, it really is, it is wicked to see. And the Irish are always there. Anyone from Ireland in the chat?
Yeah.
You guys are everywhere. I know it's only a short flight, but I know guys who got season tickets from Ireland. They come over every week. So big up to all the Irish fans as well, and all the fans around the world, not just of the United view. I'm just talking about United in general. So big up all the international fans. Akil says, do you think Erik Ten Hag has a better squad than the one Arteta won the FA Cup with? The overhaul was bigger at Arsenal. I think Erik Ten Hag is class and needs time. I did this on what do you call it? Saturday Social the other day when they said who inherited a worse squad. And in some ways, thank you for that, Akil. That's a good discussion point. In some ways, the job that Erik Ten Hag had to do with how bad we were in 6 months is amazing, But in terms of the squads, I mean, they showed me Arsenal's squad, bro, when Arteta got there. It was Maitland-Niles right back. It was Socrates and David Luiz in the middle. Who else did it have? It had Aubameyang on the left, Lacazette up front, Reece Nelson on the right. It was really...
It was shocking.
It was shocking. And you can't sit there as a Man United fan and say that dead Arsenal team was better than the one that that Eric Ten Hag got. Eric Ten Hag got a team that had Rashford, Martial, Bruno, Ronaldo, Sancho. He brought in Anthony. Martinez was there first game of the season. Ericsson was there. So, Shaw was in there. Wan-Bissaka was there. Dalot was there. So there's no question that Arteta had a worse squad than Man United. So you got to give him products. So again,
that's interesting. That's interesting, to be honest with you,
yeah,
because what Arteta's done is good so far. He's built a strong team now, but I think the competition might not have been as rife as it is now. For Ten Hag to come into the level of competition that he's at now and do as well as he's doing, I think it speaks volumes, because it's only going to get more difficult now. I think there's going to be a top 7 almost, at some stages. Maybe Spurs tail off, and I think maybe even Liverpool suffer, depending on what club situation is. But I think it's going to get even harder now.
Yeah, it will.
Oh, you're on mute, mate.
Am I back now? Can you hear me?
Nah.
Can you hear me now?
I'm on mute.
Yeah, I'm on. I should be in. Do you not hear me? Put a thumbs up if you don't hear me. Because
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I'm not on mute though. Let us know. Owen's not here. Look what happens. Give me a thumbs up if you guys could hear me. That way it could just Marcel and we can laugh at him. If not, then everyone can hear me. It's you.
It's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have to refresh or something. Look at Marcel. I'm thinking man's telling me I'm muted. What's going on here? KG says, proper annoying. I'm home now, by the way. It is, bro. It is. But you know what? KG, well, obviously, Don Robbie sent for you. I don't know if you saw his fan view. He sent for you. While Marcel's Marcelling, he's just gonna do a little refresh or something. But we can hear both. Marcel, they can hear you now.
They can hear me now.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we heard you the whole time. You can hear me. Right, okay.
Okay, cool. Now, back.
So he's back in the room. KG said it's annoying, man. He's back home now. He said it's annoying. And it is annoying, but KG, like I said, Don Robbie sent for you. He said, where are you? He said the streets are saying you left me to deal with it at the Emirates with all the Arsenal fans. You know what I mean? But they rated me, bro. I fronted it up. I fronted it up and called it as I see it. But they're onto you for ducking and diving. So yeah, you got best of enemies. So there you go. You'll talk. But the feeling was different. Do you know what was interesting about yesterday? I don't know what it was like online. Online's a bit different. But the respect levels from Arsenal fans, I don't normally get that. We don't normally get that after they've beaten us at the Emirates. Every time we lose there, because I've been losing there for the last however many years now, 3 or 4 years. After the game, Marcel's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. It's not like, not violent or anything, but I mean like they're on you, flex. What are you saying? That's what happens when you come to the Emirates. Hold that. It's very much, and all in the spirit of it. And that's how it should be, right? Because we do the same at Old Trafford. But you know what? Yesterday, it was like, wow, what a game. We haven't had a game like that at the Emirates. You pushed us right to the wire. And you know what? Wow, Eric Ten Hag's done such a great job in such a short space of time. And you know what? It was weird because it felt like we was being friendly with the Arsenal fans, because basically it was like, do you know what? How about we join together, get Pep and Klopp out of there, and we go back to the top like what we used to fight for titles. And it was almost like that was the feeling about the place. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, they were happy they won, and in their own interviews, they're going to laugh at us, whatever. But the respect levels were there, and I haven't seen that in a while. And that, I think, is a massive sign. When you, not that it should be based off that, but the respect was there from Arsenal fans yesterday. And that's down to Eric Ten Hag, because they were impressed with what they saw. They were impressed with what they saw.
They saw us, bro. I don't know. I see it differently. They fear us. I see it as they fear us. They looked around and thought, wow, 6 months in, and he's been able to achieve that and come into the back garden and do that. I thought it was more of a place. They really looked at it and thought, wow, okay, these are emerging. We have to take notice. We have to stand up and, yeah, we can be nice. They got away with it for me. Yes, it's relentless wave after wave for 25 minutes towards the end, but they got away with it for me. And I'm really happy that that's the way we set up. Last season, it was a 3-1 capitulation, and we capitulated, we crumbled, no spine, no heart, no fight. They definitely feared us for me, and it looked like, okay, yep, the Manchester United here. Imagine when they get all of Ten Hag's players and they're to the level that Arteta's had, the whole set of players. And that's how I felt.
Marcel's a disgrace and he's a cheat. Mr. Roberts 96. Listen, you know who I support, bro. But I'm just saying the feeling of being you back. You froze
Yeah, I'm
there.
back now.
The feeling of being there, bro. Because Mr. Roberts says weird view as a fan of who do you support, United or Arsenal? Who gives a F what Arsenal fans think? No, hear what I'm saying, and I get what you're saying. I know it's like as long as we know we're good, but being there and talking to them, I just found it really interesting to actually hear them for a change. Not that it matters to our development, because even if Arsenal fans would have said, "You're still crap, we beat you," we know. Like he says there, come on, Flex, I'm winding you up. I hear you. You got me. But I did want to explain that because it was actually just like nice to hear. It was for a change. It was interesting to hear them actually say, you know what, you're going in the right direction. That was a flipping good game. And now I'm just happy that we can. Do you know what I mean? We've played City twice. We've played Arsenal twice.
Yeah,
We got Liverpool to play away, who I don't fear them. We got Chelsea to play at home, which I'm very confident about. And obviously we got Newcastle away, which is a tough game. So,
yeah,
we're ticking off those really difficult games where we can just get to focus on, the games that, not saying we should win because you ain't got a divine right, but the games that
yeah.
we really want to, build up some steam. You know what I mean? But what was you saying before you got cut off there, Marcel?
I don't know where I got cuffed to. I basically spoke to the fact that I think Arsenal have seen
Oh,
us
you
for
said
sure.
yeah, that was it. Yeah.
They've definitely seen us. I think, if history doesn't repeat itself, but it definitely will rhyme. So the same way Arsenal was way behind Sir Alex, I think it will be the same here. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of us building into that, and they saw us for sure, and that's why they there was an element of respect there. Like you said, there is a bit of a part in. I was saying, obviously there's a bit of a 1 and 2. We most probably, and it would be nice to see us rise back and be the two dominant forces, but we've got to remember we've got business across the road as well in the east side of Manchester. So we're just going to be on a different level to them. We're competing on so many different fronts. We've got our neighbours to fight with, and then the history to fight with them. They don't have no they don't have no derby. It's a training session for them. So it's just going to be a different level of competition in my mind. So we'll see what happens in the future. But I can only see Manchester United rising back to the top, surpassing Arsenal Football Club and staying there.
Nicholas says, I didn't like how McTominay got a full 90 minutes on the field. A lot of times he was just a floating body in the game. Super chat from Hayata says, I'm feeling good with Ten Hag at the wheel. We are as well. We're definitely feeling good. Just back to that McTominay comment. Um, I can see. Look, Arsenal were coming in waves and waves and waves, right? And I know people have criticized Eric Ten Hag for not bringing on Garnacho. And look, hindsight's a wonderful thing in terms of course, he could have brought Garnacho on. He could have brought
Yeah,
Garnacho on. Garnacho could have done what he done against Fulham and won us the game in the last minute. You never know, quick counter attack. But I'm going to be honest, and this is my opinion. This is my opinion. And obviously, I am backing the manager on this, but that doesn't mean we have to always agree and back the manager. In my opinion, I can see why his first thought wasn't go to Garnacho and get him on the left and maybe take out Weghorst and put Rashford up front and give them something to think about. Because in my opinion, I just feel like Arsenal were in such an ascendancy. They're in such a dominant form. The main thing that we had to stop in that moment was stem the bleed from Saka on that left-hand side. Luke Shaw was getting an absolute runaround. And it wasn't, and the craziest thing, and this is testament to Saka, Luke Shaw didn't even play horribly. It
yeah,
wasn't like Luke Shaw was getting spun and he's playing awful. Sometimes you have to just put your hands up and say, you know what? He was brilliant. He was brilliant. Sometimes you just have to put your hands up and say, Luke Shaw was up against a fantastic player in Bukayo Saka, and he needed help. Sorry, if the phone's ringing, you just keep it muted until I finish. It's fine.
yeah.
Um, he was getting done. He had a difficult game as Marcel goes to answer the phone. Um, And he was up against, arguably one of the best players in Europe, one of the best players in Europe. Saka was unbelievable. He was, you can say it. There's no point hating. The kid was amazing. And in that moment, Eric Ten Hag said, flipping it. You had Eriksen coming across to help, but didn't have the legs. The goal that Saka scores, he cuts in. Eriksen can't quite get to him, but it's a fantastic goal. And then also, he has to bring in Fred to help in that position because he needed help because Saka was just doing a madness. So I get it, And then is he gonna say, "Oh, let me bring on Malacia and take off Shaw"? No, I don't think he should have done that. So I get it. I get why he didn't bring him on. I get the fact that he wanted safety first. You know what I mean? We weren't in that ascendancy. I don't think bringing on Garnacho was going to change the game as much as people thought in that moment. Of course, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and we'll never know. We'll never know. I could have been wrong. You lot could have been wrong. We don't know. But what's done is done. I just think he played it the best he thought and thought, right, well, we need to try and stem the flow here. We couldn't even get the ball. And then you couple that with McTominay, who had to play because of physicality and limited options on the bench. What was he going to do? Bring on Zidane? But I don't even know if he was on the bench. But no options. Obviously, with no Casemiro in there, we're not going to get the ball again to start dominating Arsenal. Bruno wasn't playing particularly well. I just get it. I just get it. So I wasn't really on that train of what on earth was Ten Hag doing? Why didn't he make more attacking stuff? I hear that appearing offline says Anthony should have come off for Garnacho ages ago. Again, Anthony gives you that work rate in it, but again, he was poor. He's just not giving us enough. He just isn't giving us enough. He needs to do more. So do you get it, Marcel, why Ten Hag didn't bring on Garnacho? Or do you see it differently? Do you think he should have done it way earlier and should have done it?
So I think I said after the game that he should have taken the risk, but then then Saka just maybe goes another level, and that's what he was doing. I think Luke Shaw was on a yellow card at one stage as well, and Saka was just dominating the game. Worldy. If you're stopping him, and we even stopped him with Fred, but then Tomiyasu would just do the overlapping run, and he would just gently pass it down the line. So he was on a different level, I think, and when you're doing that, I think you have to most probably just focus on Saka, of course. But even then, still, I think Fred still had an issue with him. That's how good he was. There's testament to just how
the
good
guy didn't
Saka
stop. You couldn't stop him all game. It didn't matter what we did. Sometimes you have to just hold your hands up. You played football at a decent level. When there's an opposite number who's just killing it, what can you say? What can you do? It's good that he only scored one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what? And that was a worldie. Like, just like Rashford scored a worldie. Just like, at the end of the day, and that's what I mean. We gave as good as we got. Make no mistake. Rashford made Ben White not be able to come out for the second half.
Yeah.
The Arsenal fans even said it to me. They goes, yeah, he was looking out sort, mate. And again, they got a reaction from Tomiyasu, and Rashford's impact kind of dwindled as Arsenal were more dominant. I wouldn't say Tomiyasu marked Rashford out the game, but what I would say is that Arsenal got together and raised their intensity collectively as a team. So Marcus saw less of the ball as a byproduct of that. He was doing a lot more defending because Arsenal just had the ball more. But that's where you got to rate Arteta with how he changed the game and got a response from his team. But yes, I feel like, he just had a really good game. Saka, he just had a great game. Marcel Aminor says, Marcel answering the phone while his booster seat has arrived. And Blue Aberdeen says, any news? We're going to get some of the members' chats. Any news on Dalot injury and coming back? I haven't seen Eric Ten Hag say anything about that yet. We'll keep an eye on that because we need to know what's going on there. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I thought actually he had a couple of mistakes, but overall I thought he was quite good. Alu says Arsenal had more XG shots and more shots and possessions. Well, they did.
What is Olu trying to say there?
He's trying to say that the better team won on the day because they were forcing the issue. They deserved to win. There was only one team who looked like winning, is what he's trying to say.
I don't know, man. We come from a school where counter-attacking systems, we've won under those circumstances. Sometimes it's not about having the ball; it's about winning.
Agreed. But in the second half, I could agree. After we scored, because when they scored at 2-1, Rashford had that wicked shot. That was a good save from Ramsdale. Then we get a corner, then we score from it. But after that, again, I'll be honest, we didn't have a chance. We didn't have a chance. After they got to 2-2, after we got to 2-2, Arsenal just upped the ante, and it became a game of trying to see it out. We didn't. The counter was non-existent. The Ramsdale didn't have anything. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But is that because they upped the level, or did we drop levels game after game this month? Legs, but
Both,
tired legs, tired
both.
minds. Yeah, and
They
that's
upped
what
it to a level that they upped it to a level that we couldn't match. And as a result of fatigue and the things that Ten Hag said of where we are in our development, it's nothing embarrassing about it. It's just what
yeah,
happened.
yeah,
They kept going and going, and I think that freshness really helped them as well. That freshness,
yeah.
having a whole week off, really helped them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. That's what I just feel like it's like I don't know. I'm maybe being bitter. That's what it maybe is, and I'm a bit upset. And I said it hurts. And I said it hurts the fact that we lost this game. This is the kind of games you want to win. They're the top level team right now, and testament to them. But when you fight the way that you have fought, hey, I would have liked to see a 2-2 out of that kind of game. And it's just a lapse of concentration by our freshest players. It's fumbled off Fred. I don't even think it was meant to reach to
No,
Nketiah. It's
yeah,
fumbled off Fred.
yeah.
Wan-Bissaka can get out to his man a bit quicker. Just the little 1% that Ten Hag is talking about, and I'm seeing this. Come on, but it is what it is. Well done to Arsenal.
And Blue Abadi Abadai says Arsenal ain't Fulham. Saka was having Shaw on toast. And trying to get to some more of the members' chats, make sure I've read them all. Jason says everyone, Marcel, for steering the debate against Ty on track. Yeah, everyone. Do you know, I met a load of people yesterday who really enjoyed your sit down with Ty. That was good. That was good fun. That was good fun to watch.
Yeah.
Jason also said disgrace. And make sure you guys smash the like on the video. We've got 1,100 people watching. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Please do that. We are joining us. If you just joined us, Owen is off today. And you have got the beautiful Marcel and myself taking you through the Match Day Reloaded. Not as polished as Owen's Match Day Reloaded. Let us know out of 10 how you think we've been doing. No one can do Match Day Reloaded like Owen. This is his show. But you're getting all the special clips and all the different things that he brings in. But Owen, that's why Owen is Owen. There can only be one Owen. So big up to Owen. And yeah, make sure you guys smash a like on the video. We are at 131,000 subscribers, actually, which is amazing. So let's keep pushing on that. And Liberty's been a member for 3 months. Liberty says, next window, we need a proper striker and a midfielder or Frankie de Jong type, someone who can control the game. So Eric Ten Hag's in-game management has been spot on recently. Agreed, 100% agreed. Actually, before we move on, that's what it shows. This is what shows what we're missing. Okay, Weghorst, listen, he's coming in on a short-term deal to get us out of a sticky situation, isn't he? He's here to do his best. He's here to help us get through a short-term solution. And there was bits of his game that were okay. There were bits of his game that decent hold-up play and stuff like that. But essentially, we know what we really need. Do you know what I mean? We know what we really need. So it's nothing to do with Weghorst. And Martial, same thing. How many times are we going to keep saying the same thing about injuries and never available? We know what needs to happen there. So once we get a proper striker, 100%, and also that Frankie de Jong thing is very, very, very true. We need a player who can dictate the game for the whole game. I think someone like Eriksen, he helps us a lot. I really like him. Look, we got him on a free. He's been a great addition to the squad. But he fades. He fades a lot during the latter stages of games, and especially high energy games. Especially when Casemiro's not there. And we've said it. We haven't got the luxury yet. It's only been one window. I know it's two now if you include this January. I know it's two now if you include this January, but he's only had one main window to get the targets that he needs. And once he gets another midfielder, maybe another couple, because as soon as the likes of Casemiro is injured, we don't have anybody else who can do that. It's a big problem. We need somebody who's better in quality, because obviously we go back to McTominay and Fred. So there's loads of things. There's loads of things that we need to improve on and that we get, and that they will be massive game changers with this squad. With this squad. I genuinely do believe that. A couple quotes from Lisandro Martinez. He said it was amazing to celebrate with Man United fans. The fans are incredible. They always support us and are there for us. The minimum we can do is give everything. It was a dream to score my first goal for Man United. I'm really happy for that. In the end, it was not the result I wanted, but we have to keep going. We can win the game today, but this kind of game, it's about details. If you're not on every detail, you can't win. The last minute, you lose the game. You have to be focused. We have to score and kill the game. Um, so that's coming from him as well. I want to move on to Alejandro Garnacho now as well. Fabrizio Romano says Man United and Alejandro Garnacho are very close to reaching an agreement on his new contract. The final details are about the salary and the duration of the contract. So we are close there. A lot of talk about why he didn't come off the bench yesterday. Let's move on a little bit from that. Um, and just talking about that in general. Like, yeah, how's he been?
What's That's quite interesting what's happening in football now in terms of these long contracts. It's quite interesting. Is this to get around FFP or whatever it's called? 8-year contracts. I saw something about an 8-year contract just to tie him down for a long period of time. How's that gonna affect the player? I'm seeing, it touted around 30 grand per week, which I think is good. I was saying before, 50, speaking to Owen before, saying 50's acceptable, but 40 to 30 really gives him, discipline, and you're not giving him too much too early. Yeah, should have been maybe involved yesterday, but hey, we need him for the rest of the season anyway. He's gonna be part and parcel of a lot of the cup games that we got coming up. So no, I think this is good. We need to give him time down at least 23, 22. Do you think he should be on more than what's been touted? What do you think his price point should be in terms of wages?
I think we need to address the wages, like I've said in a few shows, that like we can't keep dishing out big contracts to players who don't deserve it. And I'm not saying that Garnacho is one of them, because he's one of the brightest kids in Europe. He looks the real deal. We have to keep him. But there should be a sensible cut-off point. There should be, you can't give a kid like that 70, 80, 90, 100 grand a week off for a few good performances, But I just want it to be in line with, what somebody else is going to give him, though, within reason. Within reason, if you cut your nose off to spite your face at 30,000, you don't want to give him the 50k. Well, Real Madrid will just come and give him the 50k, then he's not your player anymore. PSG will just come and give him the 50k a week, and then he's not your player anymore. I think we do have to have a point where we can't go above. I think a maximum of 50k, and that's a maximum, I think, should be enough to attain his services. I don't see why it can't be 35. I don't see why it can't be 30. I don't see why it can't be 40, 45. But I think overall 50 surely should be enough. I mean, this is his breakthrough season. If he wants more than 50, then there's I think that's a bit excessive.
Bit of an issue.
Yeah, exactly. And we got time down to a long contract as well. We have to remember that, because he's a fantastic player. We want to make sure we lock him down. We've got to give him a 6-year deal. You know what I mean? He's that young. You've got to give him the 6-year with the extension.
Listen, that's still quite long, though. That's still quite long. Just speaking to that in general, that's what's going on with the direction of football. 7 years, 6 years, 5 years. It used to just be 2 and 3 years.
Yeah, well, it depends who it is. I think with young players, if you take Chelsea, for example, they're doing it that way to get around the FFP, because they're basically saying, we'll give you 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million for the 7 years of that contract, and there's your 70 million. Or the 7 years of that contract, and we'll give you 10 million every year, there's 70 mil. So they're not actually spending out of this year. They're only spending for that player. Done the same with Badia Shields. Done the same with Makweku, the other player they got. So there's ways of which basically is kind of shit, really, because it just proves that you can circumnavigate around FFP. To be honest, I never know what's what with FFP. One day it's this, one day it's that. Teams always manage to go around things and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think it's with Garnacho. I don't mind it. I don't mind us basically giving him not what he wants, but within reason. You've got, because you have to show ambition, because it's a competitive market out there. And that's where Man United got to get the balance right. You've got to get the balance right between not overpaying for a player and getting your pants pulled down and giving in to ransom, but also you have to be competitive in the market, especially with a player you've already got, especially with a player who a lot of teams would take him and a lot of teams would give him the money that he's going to ask for. You have to find a happy medium with that. What do you think?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. It's a competitive market for that kind of young talent that's on the way to being a superstar. You know, speaking about Saka on the other side, he's only 21 and he's doing what he's doing. You know, clubs are going to be hunting around for those kind of players. We're already talking about him potentially being snapped up by maybe a City further on into his development. It's the same thing for Garnacho. You know, you want to take him now, maybe get him into that key development phase when they're young and still hungry, and then lots of clubs are going to be coming in. But if they take them in now at a younger price or a cheaper price, you know, you need to retain your top talents at a young age because they're effective. They can contribute to games. They can help you win games. We've suffered in ways like that before, previous time. You know, so you know, Ravel Morrison, maybe a difficult different situation. But you know, keeping the young players is something that we're about as a club. So it's important.
100%. Agreed. Bamrich says, get real soon, Flex. Standing in the cold is long for a man's immune system. Listen, me and Marcel were out there till late, man. In the grind, man. It was like -2. My toes were
Yeah,
cold. My finger, I was wearing gloves. I was still freezing.
cold.
And I was driving home and it just hit me, just cold, just head cold. I had awful sleep. I had like sneezing fits in the night. Olba soil was on the pillow, you know what I mean? Vicks, you know what I mean? You had to bring it all out, honey and ginger. Remedies, man. Caribbean remedies, bro. Had to pull it out the bag, bro, because I'm
Solid,
under the
solid.
weather. But we keep going, man. We keep moving. Keep giving you guys that A1 content, man. I'll be okay. PS says we need an extra option in midfield. Romano said we'll explore creative signings before the 31st. Who would you like to see? A la Weghorst level. Yeah, exactly. Kind of Weghorst level. Difficult. I don't know who's available in January. I mean, you could argue that Tillemans is, but it's going to cost money. But we ain't got money.
I have to look at the free market. That's what we've been doing when it's difficult times.
Yeah, maybe there's a free market. I don't know. I couldn't even speculate on the type of players that we could end up signing. I don't know. It's this is not there. The resources aren't there, is it? To get those type of players, it just isn't there.
Yeah.
I wanted to smash a like on the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Let's have a look. We are pretty much 1,200 people watching. Only 185 likes, guys. Come on, man. We can get to at least. It'd be nice to get to 500, but maybe that'll be a push. Let's get to 300, though. Let's get the likes up to 300 at least, and then we'll go from there. We'll set a new target. So please do that. We're at 1,200 watching and just getting up to 200 likes. So, yeah, let's get another 100 in there. Let's get to 300. And then we will kick on from there. A little bit of news while we've been live, actually, Marcel, from David Ornstein. Interesting. Hear this one. I want to get your thoughts on this one and you guys in the chat. Man United target Harry Kane is open to signing a new contract at Tottenham. His priority is to win with them. His representatives have not held serious discussions over an exit. That is from David Ornstein in The Athletic. So just to recap on that, Harry Kane is open to signing a new contract at Spurs. His priority is to win with them. His representatives have not held serious discussions over an exit. I know you are Team Kane. I know you think he would do really well for us. Some people in the chat don't rate him. But yeah, how do you feel hearing that news? David Ornstein, very, very reliable.
I've just seen in the comments that Kristen's obviously seen the bet that me and Owen had. So
exactly.
He's just reminded me of it.
It might have just swung back in his favor.
So he's remembered what's been going on within the community. But yeah, you're right, Flex, man. I think Harry Kane's a tremendous talent, but if he wants to suffer with Spurs and stay there at a failing club, that's up to him. I think Victor Osimhen, I've said it before, is a fantastic talent and will be the next complete striker alongside the likes of Harry Kane. He just has a couple more elements to his game that he needs to improve. Vlahovic is another fantastic forward as well. That's in a dire situation at Juventus, so it's more affordable. I would like Man United to get value for money. So, you know, if that's something that we do as well, hey, it bodes well. But Harry Kane, you know, a lot of people have been telling me, you know, that Harry Kane is, you know, past his best. He's still competing at the top level. He's still chasing the 280 goals for Alan Shearer. He still wants to win a trophy. So if David Ornstein's saying it's credible. But hey, I think he's an upgrade on Tony Marshall for me. He's a complete,
of course,
he's an upgrade on Tony Marshall for me. But Victor Osimhen right now looks dangerous, looks aggressive and dangerous. So listen, we might miss the bullet. Same with Gakpo. Gakpo looks like he's suffering now, and maybe you get a better quality in Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think I've never been opposed to Harry Kane. I've never been in that I've never been in that camp of like Kane's rubbish. It makes it look like it made so much sense for him to come to Manchester United. Can't do anything at Spurs. They're crap. Conte probably going to leave. Um, and obviously, like you said, chasing that record. I can't. I know he can guarantee win trophies at say Bayern and stuff like that. I just can't see Kane going abroad. Can't play for City. Can't see him going to Chelsea. Never going to go Arsenal. No space at Liverpool now. Man United desperately need a striker. It literally works. It should go that way. But if he wants to stay there and be a Matt Letitia, be a one club man and chase down the records, then so be it. We gotta move. Osimhen does look good. And there's other strikers out there that we're gonna have to find. We're just gonna have to spend big. We have to spend big in the summer
Well,
on that.
I think with Vlahovic, I don't think you have to spend big. You get value for
Oh well,
money.
actually, yeah. Well, look what's going on there. Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So I think you get value for money with him. A lot of people talking about Pogba. I don't know what's going on with that. I would never go
Nah.
back if I'm honest with you. But if we're talking about midfielders, value for money it makes sense. So hey,
Yeah, agreed. The thing is with Vlahovic, though, obviously he was so highly tipped, and then he went there, and obviously it's just been a horrible time at Juventus. You can't really judge it. Is he as good as we remember him to be? Is he as good as that? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I definitely, yeah, I wouldn't get Pogba back. I wouldn't get Pogba back. Just to finish off myself before we wrap up, what we got this week. We've got Forest away. You
yeah.
know, first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Then I think we've got Palace at home. Uh, how you feeling after this game? Put this game behind us. That's going to be a tough game, Forest away. They're very resurgent, very good at home at the moment, and it's under the lights at the City ground, man. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere, old school ground. See how when we went Palace the other week, it'd be like that, but probably even more bigger atmosphere. You think we get the right result there, or at least get a decent enough result to bring back to Old Trafford so we could win over 2 legs?
Yeah, so depends what side Ten Hag puts out. I think he always puts out a strong side
It's
to
going
just
to be
set the
strong,
tone.
yeah, surely.
So expecting us to dominate the ball, similar to like we usually do at Old Trafford. Um, Excited though, excited. It's usually that kind of match where the younger players maybe get a go in. So Kobe Manu might see him. Garnacho expected to see him as well at some point, and for them to feature. Zidane, not sure, but would expect him to feature at some stage. Um, it's looking interesting. It's looking interesting so far. And that's a win there. Hopefully, I don't want to look past that
Oh
fixture,
yeah,
but
sorry, Reading. I forgot about Reading. Someone said, "What about Reading?" Yeah, exactly. We got them as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Reading towards the end of the month, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's in. Oh,
So
that's on the 28th, isn't it? That's when is that? Is that our next game? Oh, that's our next home game. So we got So sorry guys, we got Forest, and then I think it's Reading, and then it's Forest again, and then it's the Palace game, I believe.
so a load of cup games coming up,
Exactly,
basically. A load of cup
exactly.
games coming up. I'm excited. It's a good feeling right now to support the team, even though it's been. We need to worry about the last minute goals and the concentration levels towards the end, but it's been so many games, Flex. Honestly, these players, and I'm worried about how that tails off towards the end of the season. I was saying if we don't get bodies in, we're gonna suffer towards the end of the season. Players are gonna wear down, but
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good game to come into now, and hopefully some of the younger players can feature.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, thanks for watching Matchday Reloaded. It's been a blast. Sorry it wasn't as good quality as Owen's. I've got myself through here. Under the weather. Marcel's come through as well. We did our best to give you guys the best show that we could. So big up to you guys. I know you guys have still enjoyed it. If you haven't, make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We have also got down at the studio, down at UVHQ, we've got the tactical view with Cam. Going to be interesting to dissect that game after how difficult it was against Arsenal yesterday. So looking forward to that. So look out for match day. Match day reloaded was now. Look out for the tactical view later on and full view later on this evening as well. So plenty of content for your head tops here at UV as well, man. Big up to you guys. Marcel, thanks for coming on as usual, bro. Big up. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.